Hi there, in this video I'll be talking about parallel lines and the angles associated with parallel lines. Before we go into the details, let's have a look at the definition of parallel lines. The lines that never intersect or meet each other and maintain the same distance are called parallel lines. Have a look at the examples here. You can see the red lines L1 and L2 are parallel to each other because they are maintaining the same distance and they don't seem to intersect each other at any point. Same way, the yellow lines L3 and L4, they are parallel because the distance between them is not changing. So we can say parallel lines never meet each other. Let's now define a term called transversal. If two parallel lines are intersected by another line, the third line is called the transversal. So have a look at the figure shown here. L1 and L2 are parallel lines. There is a third line intersecting these two lines, and this third line L3 is called the transversal. The transversal produces angles with certain properties that we'll focus on in this video. Let's now talk about different angles formed in parallel lines. We start with corresponding angles. These are equal angles. So what do we mean by corresponding angles? These are the angles formed in parallel lines that have the same relative position. So have a look at the figure carefully. You can see angle X and angle Y, they have the same relative position. So these are corresponding angles and they are equal to each other. So we can write angle X and equal to angle Y. In the same way, angle R and angle S are corresponding angles as well because they have the same relative position. So we can write angle R equal to angle X. Consider this example here, which is based on corresponding angles. So using the property of corresponding angles, we need to find the values of angle A and B. So what are corresponding angles? These are the angles formed in the parallel lines that have the same relative position. So you can see here angle A and angle of 140 degrees, they have the same relative position. Have a look here. So we can easily write angle A equal to 140 degrees. In the same way, we can see angle B and angle 40 degree. They are in the same relative position. So we can write angle B equal to 40 degrees. Next, we consider alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are the angles formed inside the parallel lines and they are on the opposite side of the transversal. So have a look here. You can see here X and Y, they are interior angles and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. In the same way, angle R and S, they are interior angles and on the opposite sides of the transversal. So we can easily write angle X equal to angle Y and angle R equal to angle S. These are alternate interior angles. In our next example, we need to find the values of angle A and B, and the figure is shown to you. And here we use the property of alternate interior angles. Have a look. The yellow arrows are showing one pair of alternate interior angles. So based on that, we can say angle A equal to 120 degrees. In the same way, the green arrows are showing you another pair of alternate interior angles. Based on that, we can say angle B equal to 60 degrees. Next, we talk about alternate exterior angles, and these angles are equal angles. Alternate exterior angles are the angles formed outside the parallel lines and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. So have a look in the figure here. You can see angle X and Y, these are exterior angles and they are on the opposite sides of the transversal. So we can easily write angle X equal to angle Y as they are alternate exterior angles. In the same way, we have another pair of alternate exterior angles, which is R and S. So we can write angle R equal to angle S. Again, they are the example of alternate exterior angles. In our next example, we have to find the values of angle A and B, and this example is based on the property of alternate exterior angles. So have a look at the figure here, and it's very clear angle A has to be 135 degrees because these two are opposite sides of the transversal and are exterior angles, so they have to be equal. And we have another pair of alternate exterior angles, which is angle B equal to 45 degrees. Let's now talk about co-interior angles where the sum of the angles is 180 degrees. So co-interior angles are the angles formed inside the parallel lines and they are on the same side of the transversal. Now have a look here, angle X and Y are interior angles and they are on the same side of the transversal. So we can write here angle X plus angle Y equal to 180 degree. And we have another pair of co-interior angles which is R and S, and because these two are again on the same side of the transversal and they are interior angles, so they are the examples of co-interior angles. So we can write angle R plus angle S has to be 180 degrees. In our next example, we need to find the values of angle X and angle Y. Have a look at the figure carefully, and this example is related to the property of co-interior angles. Remember, co-interior angles, the sum of the angles is 180 degrees. So we need to identify which pairs we are talking about. So in the figure you can see here angle X plus 110 has to be equal to 180 degrees because these are co-interior angles. So that gives us angle X to be equal to 70 degrees. Have a look at another pair. Y plus 70 degree has to be equal to 180 degree as well because these two are co-interior angles. So that gives us angle Y to be equal to 110 degrees. Next we talk about vertically opposite angles which are equal angles. So angles that are opposite to each other are called vertically opposite angles. So have a look at the figure here. You can see X and Y are vertically opposite to each other. So we can say angle X equal to angle Y. In the same way we have another pair of vertically opposite angles which is angle R and angle S. So we can write angle R to be equal to angle S. In our next example, we need to find the values of angle X and angle Y. Now this example is based on the property of vertically opposite angles as they are equal. So have a look here, you can see angle X and 70 degree, they are vertically opposite to each other. So we can write angle X equal to 70 degree. Also another pair which is Y equal to 110 degrees. Again angle Y and 110 degrees, these are vertically opposite angles. So Y has to be equal to 110 degrees. Next we talk about linear pair where the sum of the angles is equal to 180 degrees. A linear pair is formed when two adjacent angles share a common vertex and a common side. Basically, these are the angles formed on the same straight line. So the sum of the angles has to be equal to 180 degrees. So if you look at the figure here, you can easily write angle X plus angle Y is equal to 180 degrees. In our next example, we need to find the values of X, and this problem is related to the property of angles in a linear pair. Now we know that sum of the angles in a linear pair is 180 degrees. We'll be making use of this property to find the value of X. So we can easily write here angle X plus 136 equal to 180. So that gives us angle X to be equal to 44 degrees. Let's review the key points now. First point is corresponding angles are equal. Second point is alternate interior angles are equal. Our next point is alternate exterior angles are equal. And next point is the sum of the co-interior angles is 180 degree. Also, the next one is vertically opposite angles are equal. And the next one is in a linear pair, the sum of the angles has to be 180 degrees. So these are some of the key points that we need to remember when we solve the problems based on parallel lines. I hope by now the concept of parallel lines and the angles formed in parallel lines, how to solve the problems related to that, it's clear to you. If you have any questions, you can write in the comments. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you. Have a good day.